Hi everyone. Newly adopted greyhounds can have a tendency towards flatulence, loud interruptions to your conversation, making your guests giggle, filling the room with a noxious miasma that makes them keen to go home and not outstay their welcome, can be useful in some respects, but on the other hand it's not great for a cosy night in unless you want to wear a gas mask. So, as greyhounds are known for having sensitive tummies, and production of gas is a side effect of poor digestion, what is it that causes these problems? First of all, think about the little microbes in their gut. Just as with us, they have a large number of microbes in their gut, microflora, microfauna. And if these bacteria are not suited to digesting the food that's being eaten, then you get smelly byproducts caused by fermentation in the colon. And that comes out as noxious wind, doesn't it, AJ? He's very good at that at times. Another problem can be overexcitement or being nervous or anxious. If the body is not relaxed, then we don't digest our food properly, and this applies to us just as much as it does to our dogs. So when they're first at home, if they're feeling a little bit stressed or they've had too much excitement for one day, it may be that they don't digest their meal very well, and upset tummies can commonly be associated with stress. Also consider food intolerances. A wheat intolerance is not uncommon, but dogs can also struggle with things that are commonly included in their food, such as chicken, potatoes and rice. And the majority of dogs are lactose intolerant. So if you feed them soft cheese or soft dairy products that include lactose, then you can get problems there. Another issue can be eating too fast. If they swallow air whilst they're eating, if they wolf that food down, that air has to come out, and it comes out at the other end as wind. So what can we do to try and help if they are producing that unpleasant smelly wind? If you're going to make digestive changes, then I would make those changes slowly. If you're changing the kibble that you feed, you might do this over about 5 to 7 days, gradually increasing the new kibble and reducing the old one as you go, because a sudden change could cause more upsets than you already have. I also find too much rich food, particularly food high in fat, can cause a problem. So consider the fat content of your kibble and the fat content of any treats that you're feeding. Treats such as cheese or say a pig's ear are quite high in fat, and it may be that that's causing the wind. You might want to consider, if the dog continues to have a problem, to introduce a wheat-free kibble. I wouldn't go as far as a grain-free kibble, because at this stage there is evidence that this may link to heart disease, in particular a condition called dilated cardiomyopathy. So a grain-free kibble may be the cause, but it may also be other things that are added to the kibble instead of the grains that are causing the problem, and the jury is still out on this, so it's probably as well to avoid grain-free for now. Dogs can digest starch, and they do benefit from the protein, so having some starches in the diet is not a problem. They don't need it to be just meat or animal products. Another thing to look at would be a protein of a different sort to the typical ones, so something other than beef or chicken. Things like duck, fish, rabbit are classed as novel proteins, proteins that are not so commonly found in the diet, and it may be that changing to one of those would be helpful. And I would go for a kibble that is classed as a single protein source kibble, because then you'll know if that particular protein source is a problem, and if it is, you can avoid it in the future. You could also consider adding prebiotics or probiotics, such as these. Yes, we're not eating them now. It's just a little tablet that you add to the food, just a couple for a greyhound. and I find I can put those in the food and they're quite palatable. They get eaten along with the rest of the food, and a couple of those each morning can help to settle their tummy as well, to help boost the good bacteria in the gut and reduce the bad bacteria. So they aid digestion and they inhibit the harmful bacteria. The other thing you can think about is ways to slow them down. So you could feed smaller meals. You could save some of the food to scatter and feed it that way. Or you could buy a bowl with bits in it that cause them to eat more slowly. This. If you haven't got something like this available, you could literally just put a large clean stone or two inside the bowl, so the food has to be found from within and around the different pieces in there. The other thing to do is to encourage relaxation. If you remember, I said that stress can be a cause of an upset tummy. So we want to reduce anxiety in general, which is a whole separate subject. I can help you with that as well. But do avoid feeding too soon after exercise, because if your dog is fired up and excited from having been out for their walk or been for a run, then their body is not in the right state to digest properly. So hopefully that is some tips to help you cope with your greyhound's smelly bottom. We'll be back again soon with more videos for you. Bye for now. Look out for new videos every Monday, and why not subscribe so you don't miss out.